Guys, welcome back to our podcast. Like always, it's your boys, Shamil and Nick. Today, we're going to talk about an analysis of current issues in Android operating systems. Before we get into it, here's a quick introduction. Android is an open source operating system that based on Linux, and it's been used by more 70% of smartphones around the world. It was developed by Google together with Open Handset Alliance. One of Android's biggest strengths is that phone manufacturers can customize it however they want. But that same flexibility also creates some challenges, especially when it comes to security and updates. Today, we're going to focus on three major issues. So let's get started.
Alright, thanks, Shomel. You're right. Android accessibility is great, but it also creates a lot of problems. Mobile security tools today are much more advanced than they used to be. So developers are always trying to keep up. Let's start with the first issue, Shamil. Can you explain the zero-day vulnerability you researched?
So, the first issue we look at is high severity vulnerabilities. The first issue I look at is high severity vulnerabilities and zero-day exploitations, especially a framework vulnerability. This happens because Android has many different system layers. Sometimes when Google releases important updates, they don't work perfectly with custom software made by phone manufacturers. The impact can be very serious. Attackers may be able to gain higher system access, get access in Android system security, and even run harmful code without the user even click anything. To solve this, I suggest using AI-driven predictive patching. In Google Play, the AI could detect possible security problems before attackers take advantage of them. I also think Android should have more strict modular design so the core Android framework stays separate from third-party hardware modifications. That way, even a chipset has a bug, that main Android system stay protected.
Alright, that makes sense. Having the core system separate would definitely improve the security. The second issue is evolving feature fragmentation. This started because Google introduced a faster update cycle called quarterly platform release, or they call it as QPRs. So phones usually receive these updates immediately. Other brands often take much longer because they are definitely the first have to adjust their own custom interference. As a result, users on different brands don't get the same experience. Some have to wait months just to receive basic new feature, like live lock screen updates. This also creates problems for app developers because they can always be sure every device supports the same Android features. APIs. The solution is to introduce a mandatory KOSP Unified QPR agreement where all Android manufacturers follow the same update schedule. I also suggest moving more important system components to the Google Play system updates, so Google can update them directly without having to wait for the manufacturers.
Exactly. That would make life much easier. The next issue we look at is permission abuse and privacy overlays. And this is something that can affect anyone, especially people using mobile banking apps. This happens when a malicious app tricks user into giving permissions like accessibility or SMS read. Once it gets those permissions, it can create invisible overlays on top of real apps. They run quietly in the background. The biggest danger is financial fraud. and identity theft. These apps can securely capture your two-factor what? These apps can secretly capture your two-factor authentication codes or one-time password, also known as OTPs. To reduce this risk, I suggest using automated OTP obfuscation, which hides sensitive OTPs from mobile apps. I also recommend advanced biometric vetting, where Android automatically removes permissions from apps that haven't been used for 30 days. And it also requires biometric verification for iOS actions.
Alright, so to sum everything up, we you just say an analysis of current issues in Android operating systems shows that Android's biggest strength being open and flexible is also one of its biggest challenge. Keeping Android secure and making sure everyone gets the same features across thousands of different products is not that easy actually.
Exactly. But with the solution we've suggested, using AI to help stop zero-day attacks, improving QPR, updates to reduce fragmentation, and adding stronger biometric protection for sensitive permissions, Android can become even more secure while still keeping the flexibility that makes it so popular. And that's all from us today. Thanks for listening. And lastly, hey, what's up, guys?